There's no longer white-collar jobs. They are nowhere to be found. The population is increasing on a daily basis, and the government cannot provide all the needed jobs for the bulging youths.
It's the doctor that the patient has to get a prescription for. The reason is that when the patient comes, the patient gets a card and is directed to see the physician.
Not that I mean to undermine polytechnics, they do a good job, but university education is actually more valuable.
Hello viewers, welcome to this week's edition of Crossfire, reaching you from the Anglican Cable Network Nigeria ACNN television. I am Blessing Ugochukwu. Crossfire, as you know, treats controversial topics surrounding the society. This week we are looking at the educational sector, but our focus is on children's poor educational performance. Who is to be blamed? The teacher or the parents? With me in the studio to discuss this topic are Mrs. Ogene Caro Ezimerwe, an accountant and a mother, and she will be speaking from the angle of a parent that teachers are to be blamed for children's poor educational performance. While Mrs. Oluwafumilayo Tawo, a teacher and the head of Humanity Department, Anglican Girls Grammar School, Abuja, will be speaking from the perspective that parents are to be blamed for children's poor educational performance. Before we kick off, let's watch this first pop.
My name is Venerable Sarini Sokoriko. Well, for me, both have roles to play, both the parents and the teachers. But I think the onus lies more with the parents because they have limited time with their teachers, maybe from morning till evening, but most of the times they are with their parents. So I want to believe that the parents have more responsibilities than the teachers. Because you cannot force the thing into the child's brain. And remember that sometimes we inherit certain genetics from our parents. And it is possible that the teacher may be the best, but if the brain will not carry because of certain inheritance from either of the parents, there's nothing much the teacher could do. So I want to believe that we the parents too have to play our role, making sure that these children are focused both at home and in school. We find situations today where most of the parents have decided to transfer their responsibilities completely upon the teachers. And there is not much the teacher can do. The teachers are being paid, yes, but there is a limit to which they can push these children. But you as a father or a mother or a parent, there is that self-respect that these children carry naturally. And there are certain things, even without you saying it, body language is enough for them to learn from you as a parent. But as a teacher, they just see him as an uncle for a while, and that is that. Even though, yes, like I said, there is some responsibility on the teachers, but I still want to believe that the parents have greater roles to play than the teachers.
Thank you. I'm Dorothy Amaronye Melukwe. I will say both. Because the teachers, if they do their work in school and the parents didn't do at home, then you see that it will be coming from the side of the parents. But if it's a school where the teachers are not doing, there are some cases where children don't even come home with homework. So you will say it's the school, it's the teachers. So I could say this child education is both way. The parents have duty, the teachers have duty. So if they do it, fine. Yes, they are being paid for, but they are your children. The parents have the obligation. It's just because these days parents are leaving the obligation to the children.
Welcome back. The video we just watched is on the topic, who is to be blamed for the children's poor educational performance, the teacher or the parents? So I would like to start with you, Mrs. Ezimeruwe. What's your view on this topic?
Okay, I think this topic is a very relevant topic in our society today because every parent is interested in the performance of their children educationally. Some parents pay huge amount of money to get their children to school, to get education for their children, and they desire a positive result. They desire good performance as a result. So it's very, very relevant.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So, Ma, what's your view concerning this topic?
Okay. Good afternoon, presenter.
Thank you,
parents representative, and the viewers at home. To me, from the topic raised, no blame sharing between the parents and the teachers because they are co-workers in the upbringing of these children. And even teachers, they hold key to nation building. And teacher even believes that this learning begins from the womb. According to educational psychology that I taught when I was in university, right from the womb, a parent is supposed to lay hands on the womb, especially the mother womb, while the baby is inside, and prophesy the kind of child he wants the child to be on earth. And even, as you know, as we all know, that when the child is born to the world, the parents, they are supposed to give the child adequate training so that it won't affect the child when he gets back to classroom setting. Because teacher, they need to build on what the foundation laid by the parents. And even we know that the father, I mean the teacher, teacher's arts and the parent's arts is a fertile, that is the soil that enhance the learning of the child. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that train your child, according to the book of Proverbs, train your child the way he will go. And when he's old, he won't depart from it. So this training and upbringing will really enhance the learning, adequate learning when he gets to classroom setting. And it won't give any it won't bring any problem for teachers that will be teaching the child in the classroom setting because he's already well brought up from home. So that's the reason why I'm saying that no blame sharing, because both of them, they are co-workers in upbringing, a child's upbringing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that wonderful contribution. Now moving to you, Mrs. Taiwo. It is believed that teachers are paid to impart knowledge on children, but some children's performance are poor in the academics. So what can you say concerning this, Mrs. Taiwo?
Okay, thank you very much. Concerning this question, even the twins that are born from the same womb, from the same mother, they behave differently. So we have individual differences. These individual differences entails some students that are extroverts and some that are introverts. Extroverts in the sense that we have highly intelligent students in class, and at the same time we have slow learner. So what teacher is supposed to do is to identify those people that are very, very slow in learning. And in what way can we identify them? Through various tests like CA, continuous assessments, like CW, which means class work assignment assessments, and even projects. You can even group them. When you group them in class, you should not mix up those people that are highly intelligent, but you should mix them up with slow learner. By that, these children that that could not be able to learn very fast, they will learn from their peer group. And with that, the poor performance in the life of the children will be reduced. It will be reduced. And even, I want to mention some domains which the method, the kind of method that teacher normally use for this kind of children. Like 3 domains that we have. We have affective domain, we have cognitive domain, and we have psychomotor domain. Both affective and cognitive is for teacher to teach the students in the class, and they must, you know, the teacher must be very, very observant to the extent that students pay attention to what is teaching in class. Psychomotor in the sense that after the end of the teaching, make sure that the teacher should throw some questions so that the student, he will know whether the students understand the topic that he teaches in class. So by so doing, the poor educational performance of the students will be reduced.
Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful contribution. According to you, what you stated earlier, you said the children can mix up with their peer, but there are some peer that they are a source of negative impacts. So as a child that will mingle with those kind of peer that cannot add value to their educational performance, so what do you think that child would do?
You know, thank you very much. You know, some students that are slow learner, at times complex mis-setting, but it's the role of teacher to introduce the kind of method that will enhance those that are highly intelligent to cooperate with the slow learner. You know, there are so many methods and there are so many teaching aids that we normally use for those students in class. So, and there are so many rewards, you know, even those people that you notice among those people that are intelligent, that do not want to mix up with slow learner. There are some methods that teacher can use, maybe by appraising, maybe by clapping, ask students to clap for them, because they know that this intelligent girl or boy in class will cooperate with those people that, and you back it up with the word of God. Because in the book of Proverbs it said, get understanding and get wisdom. By imparting the word of God, mixing it with the academic works, I think those people that are highly intelligent, the complex will not set in. And those that are slow learners or two, the complex will not set in, because you should give room for those people to answer the question. Teacher should not discourage them. Because at times, when a child answer the question asked by the teacher, you know, some teacher, they will say, what kind of, no, sit down. You know, derogatory word. That's one can discourage the student known as slow learner not to answer the question again. But the teacher must have different methods to handle both the slow learner and the highly intelligent. So that is what I called individual differences. Even the twins born by the same mother, they behave differently. Talk less of people that come from different background. So with that, with those methods, I think it will enhance good performance in their academics.
Thank you very much for that. That was a really brilliant idea. So moving on to you, Mrs. Ezurewe, we know that poor parental control is identified as one of the factors that encourages the increase of poor educational performance. So what can you say concerning this, poor parental control?
Okay, thank you so much. We cannot rule out the fact that parents have a role to play in the performance of their children. For example, most parents these days are very busy. They drop their children in school in the morning, and before they pick them up after school lesson, and they just pick them, they are done with their homework, and that's all. The next day, the same routine. But to encourage the child and make the child perform better, parents can go an extra mile to look into what the child have done for that day. You may discover that some children are having challenges with the subject, some are having challenges with their teachers, but if we don't pay attention to them, if we don't give them that little attention they need. We may not know, and we keep dropping them off and picking them and not knowing whatever challenges they are having. So parents also have a role to play in the performance of their children. When you discover your child is not performing well in a particular subject, it's for you to encourage the child and find out ways to assist the child so that the child can come up in those subjects. Thank you very much for that. But briefly, in a case whereby the parents, they don't have time, like the parent that is working and they come back late, how do you combine the work and taking care of the children, making sure they do their assignments, making sure they do all their assignments, all their homework? How do you do this? How do you balance the two? How do you combine work, taking care of the home, and making sure that these children do their assignments and follow up in their academics? Thank you. Parents, well, before you became a parent, you must have thought of the responsibility of having these children. So there's no way you can be so busy and abandon your child completely. No matter how tight your schedule is, you must create time to look into whatever the child have gone through in a day. We discovered that children spend more than half of the day in school. They spend even less time with the parents and more time in school. So even if we don't take out that little time to look into what they have done in school, we will not be able to know the challenges they are having. Some parents go the extra mile to have lesson teachers, private teachers for the children, just to assist them in their homework, so that when they come back home, they don't have a load of work to do. Even at that, after the lesson teacher has done his part, you too have to go through at least what did you learn today, to be sure that even the person you are paying to take care of the child is doing his or her work. Thank you.
Thank you both for your contribution so far. We shall be going on a short break. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere. We shall be right back.
Actually, Daddy, God is leading myself and my wife to go start a new work, ministry.
Wow! Wow, full-time ministry.
Yes.
This is good news. This is good news. This is what you are looking for. This is what you are looking for. Fresh blood.
Yes, sir.
Revival.
Yes,
May God launch you into the ministry.
Amen.
Go forth and dominate.
Actually, Daddy, we are not starting immediately. Because there are certain things we must put in place before we can enter into the call of God.
What do you need anymore? You have the calling of God. In our days, what we need after the calling of God, you just go forth with your Bible and your loud voice to win. So that's what you need to gather the people.
Daddy, this is our generation. There are certain things we must. Daddy, I brought a list. So anywhere God directs you to even come before us, as you are led, that you for us to.
Is it tight or in the choicest?
In the choicest locations.
What's this?
We actually want the church to be strategically located in the heart of the city. And it's an AC tight church. This generation, you need a comfort for revival.
Oh, comfort for revival. 15 million.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's good, stage lights, 20 pieces.
Yes, Daddy. We need to put light in the church. When worship is going on, the light will be shining. Then when praise and worship is going on, we don't be throwing light.
Oh, you mean like disco lights?
Exactly. No, not actually. It's actually for the
to create an
ambience.
Ambience.
Yeah, it's called ambience.
Ambience for so many.
Yes, sir.
Wow, Martha. Oh, LED screens.
LED screens.
LED screens.
Yes, Daddy.
Screens.
These are screens you put on the altar. You are putting some strategic location. It's actually for the visuals.
Visuals.
Yes. Then also so that the Bible scripture can be projected.
Oh.
People can get the Bible scripture while
Wow. You don't need your members to be coming to church with Bible.
Exactly. Not really exactly,
okay.
sir. Those that can bring their Bible, even those that cannot bring,
So then you need to see it adds color.
Okay, colors. For so many.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm with Instagram, influencer and Facebook promoter. Which one is this one?
Yes, sir. We need this set of people. They are a team.
Yeah.
They'll be driving the church on internet.
So you also need this to start church?
Yes, we need to promote it so that the church will be visible in some locations where it's not visible.
Yes.
Okay. And this is a kind of a brand strategy.
Yes.
It's a tool for marketing.
Oh, okay. To promote.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Wama, you want to promote Jesus? Official car and bus.
Yes, sir.
And yourself and your wife need official car for evangelism.
Yes, sir.
To win soul.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
For revival.
For revival.
Yes,
Yeah, Wama. 50 million capital.
Actually, sir, you know, when we total everything that we need to start, we realize that like 50-something million. So our strategy is that we go to the bank to get a soft loan.
Soft loan.
Yes, sir. Then from there, we'll start paying small.
I thought you said God called you into ministry. This is business.
It's not business per se, sir.
Oh, you mean you have to, from this 50 million, you will not be buying the souls now, Abi?
No, it's not that we are buying souls.
Yeah.
You don't understand. You know, it's strategy.
Okay.
To reach out. You know, it's just that, you know, this our generation.
Yes.
You know, if you don't package it, you know.
What are you saying? This, all this money, you don't need it. What you need is to go into the street with your Bible and gather the souls.
So you see it on TV now.
Keep quiet. All those big pastors. Oh, that's what is influencing you. Those big pastors you are seeing, they started small. They went into the street. That's what we call field work to start the ministry. This is what is killing the ministry. Look at what you are doing. You need money. No, you young generation. You want to just blow once. You are not the one to fund the work of God. God will fund His own work. He called you, so He will make provision.
That's just pray for us.
Go and win soul. You have your Bible. Go into the street and win soul. Dig my house. Go and win soul.
Yes, sir, pray for us.
Hey, go and win soul.
Welcome back to Crossfire. For sponsorship, advert placements, and to be an ACNNTV Kingdom Investment Partners, AKIP, please call the displayed numbers on your screen. To view more of our exciting programs, please visit our website at acnntv.com. We are still talking about the topic, who is to be blamed for a child's poor educational performance, and we are still in the studio with Mrs. Ezimeruwe and Mrs. Oluwafumilayo. So, Mrs. Ezimeruwe, from research, it is stated that a child's brain starts to develop more than any time in life at 5. That is when the child is 5 years old. And early brain development has a lasting impact on child's ability to learn and succeed in school. How best do you use this opportunity to advance and develop the child's knowledge?
Okay, thank you. For me, I even feel that a child's brain develops faster even before 5. Anything you cannot inculcate into the child by 3 years, it will be difficult to push it in. So as parents, we have the whole world in our hands to teach our children the right attitudes to life, the right things they ought to do, as tender as they are. I see some women, they will say, the child is too young for you to teach him or her this or that. But no matter how little that child is, even from the womb, you start talking to the child. As you give birth to the child, there are little things you talk to the child and you feel they don't understand, but they understand. So we teach them, they learn from us, even their first speech, they learn from the parents. So depending on the kind of speech you use at home, if you are in a home where you use vulgar words, that child at age 3 will start using vulgar words. If you are in a home where you appreciate people, they learn from whatever we do. The way we treat people, the way we talk to people, the way we address people, the way we even arrange our houses. Some of us are so loose, we just come back, drop things anyhow. The children are watching us, no matter how little they are. These little things are things that come together to build up the child. So when the child grows up, Some people will start saying, my child is this and that, but they don't know that it's those little things that you pushed into the child at that tender age that the child is exhibiting. So as parents, we have a great role to play in their lives at that tender age of developing, even before they come in contact with their teachers.
Thank you very much for that. Mrs. Oluwafumilayo, just as she explained earlier, the child's brain starts to develop at 5, and she has just stated how best she, as a parent, to use this opportunity. So in the same line, the child's brain is said to be very sharp between 7:30 to 10 a.m., while afternoon tends to hit the high point for physical coordination. As a teacher now, how do you make use of this time? That is between the hour of 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. It is said that the child's brain is very, very sharp. So as a teacher, how best do you make use of this very time to make sure the child performs very well?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
You know, in a school setting, in exam office, because they are in charge of drawing the timetable. So we used to ask them to draw the timetable for mathematics, English, and science subjects. Because that particular time is the time that the brain will be very cool to assimilate whatever teacher is teaching in the class. And we all know that WAEC, NECO, if you pass most of the subjects and you fail English or mathematics, that person will go nowhere. So there won't be admission for such a student. So that's the reason why in our school timetable, we normally put mathematics, English during the morning session, then other subjects towards the afternoon session, because the school runs between 7:30 to 2:15. And I'm not saying that other subjects, they are not important. They are very important, but the most important one is during my own time. At times, the admission to university, they normally take, if you have D7 in mathematics, not English, right from onset, you must have your credit in English language. So that's the reason why that 7:30 to 10, the brain of the student, very cool to assimilate. But towards the afternoon, the teachers in charge, teaching all other subjects, they must be vigilant. Because before you know it, when you are teaching a student or the students, you will see some of them dozing in class. Some of them may be even telling you that they are hungry. So teacher must be up and doing by going from one role to the other, so that students will be very, very attentive to what he or she is teaching in class. So 7:30 to 10, mathematics and English language, science subjects must be drawn inside the timetable, while other subjects, because that's morning, they will easily assimilate mathematics and English language. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. As you stated earlier, some of the distractions that these children normally have in class. So I want to ask, what do you think is the cause of these distractions? What do you think leads to this little distraction, like sleeping in the class and all sort of that? What do you think leads to these distractions?
What normally leads to this little distraction is, if teacher enters into the class, you must give rules and regulation to the students that, look, I'm teaching you now. If you want to drink water, go out before my period. If you forget, maybe if you lend your pen to your mate in another class, make sure you collect it. If you want to, because at times some students will say, I want to ease myself. Make sure you ease yourself before I come to the class. So teacher must put his or her feet down and highlight rules and regulation for this student. Anybody that go against this rule and regulation must be punished. So if teacher is well determined and let the student know his or her rules and regulation, I think these children, they will not miss anything in class. Because by the time you are giving them excuses, you are giving them permission to go out, some of the things you'll be teaching, they will miss it out. And that one can lead to poor performance in their academics. So teacher must be up and doing by giving instruction to students not to go out when he's teaching the student. And another thing is that when the teacher is teaching, or maybe when he's writing notes on board, teacher must make sure that for a while, you should look back, look at the students that are gisting. Because there are some people that are, some extrovert students, they used to gist, though they are very intelligent, but at the same time, if care is not taken, and you don't caution those students, they may join the weak ones. So as you are writing, stop, pause, check their notes, row by row. Where is your note? What are you writing? Let me see what, and teacher must endorse at the end of the notes given. He must endorse, because if teacher fails to endorse, the student will just, and not only to endorse, but to award marks. That this one that I endorse, I will give you 5, because it will add more to your promotion exam. So by so doing, the students, they will copy the notes written on board for children, and even classwork also. Classwork and even resumption tests. At times, you know, when they go on vacation, we used to give them take-home assignments, and if their parents help them at home to do this assignment, and when they come back to school and teacher fails to mark or do, they will be thinking that it's as usual. Yeah, that's auntie. No, they won't mark this. There's no need for me to, you know. So teacher must be up and doing. Teacher must be vigilant. Teacher must be observant and know do's and don'ts of these children, so that in the areas of this academic, teacher, you know, glory will be the teacher's own, and it will even be the parents' own. So with all this, it can even help their good performance in their academic works.
Thank you very much for that. But as we all know, there are some stubborn children. There are some children that you, no matter what you say to them, they will still not follow instruction. So as a teacher, I want to know, what kind of punishment do you give this set of children that refuse to follow this instruction to avoid abuse? Like the type of punishments you give them.
Thank you very much. Abuse, yeah. You know, there are few, not even all, few of them that may not even abide with this instruction. What we normally do as a teacher, we used to invite their parents, because maybe there are some things that parents, you know, some parents, they don't have time for their children. They won't even look towards the areas of their needs. Some students, they will confide more in their teacher than their parents. So in such a case, I used to invite the parents, please, so this and this is what your children used to, the way he used to behave in class. What really caused it? You know, because teacher, we are builders. So whatever the parents tell us about the child, we will build on it. And I believe that by counseling this, you know, we have counseling units. We can send such a student to counseling department for teacher to counsel. So through that, I know with all the methods that we have at our, you know, bell and call, I know there must be transformation in the life of such a student, because all what God created, they are perfectly okay. We should not be biased that, hey, this one, oh, she won't make it. I know of a student, I'm very sorry to say this, I know of a student, come and see, from JS1, nothing, oh, very dull, and he's not, you know, some people, you know, some teachers, they must, we used to scold them that they should not use derogatory, you know, words to a child, because if you use derogatory word, they will discourage them, as if nothing good will come out from them. So this kind of child, you know, we started building, encouraging. Could you believe that when this girl, when she sat for our egg, though you see throughout, too, even the brilliant students that we thought it will clear everything, brilliant students, hey, but mathematics, D7. But look at this guy, the people, they have already, you know, maybe they thought no good thing can come out from Israel. But the law really helped. So teachers should not be discouraged with the way some students are behaving academically in class. So we should try to encourage them so that good things will come out from them and success will be theirs at the end of their academic works. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
According to what she said, Mrs. Ezimeruwe, she said some children confide in teacher more than parents. I want to know if you really agree with what she just said. And what is the actual cause children confide in teachers more than their parents at home?
Okay, for those children that confide more in their teachers, it's just vivid that their parents do not give them attention at home, because no child that has adequate attention at home from the parents would prefer to confide in a teacher. So it boils down to the fact that most parents don't have time for their children, and sometimes we parents, because of the pressure of work and so much pressures in our lives, we don't have the patience to really sit them down and hear them. We react too fast. So the fear of, what will mommy say and what will daddy say, they are going to beat me up, will push them away to go and confide in their teachers instead of the parents. So for us parents, it's for us to come down to the level of the children, accommodate their mistakes. Sometimes we parents, we have achieved so much and we believe that no child should make a mistake. So when a child makes a mistake, you rain hell on them. So if we see the children as people that are not yet perfect and prone to mistakes, we'll be open-hearted to receive them whenever they have anything to share with us. And rather than scold them completely and rule them off, we find ways to encourage them and build them up and guide them against making such mistakes in future. If we're able to do that, we'll have more of them confiding in their parents rather than in teachers in school.
Thank you very much for that awesome contribution. Finally, Mrs. Taiwo, I want to know your final statement to the viewers. And briefly, I want to know who takes the credit between the teacher and the mother. Who takes the credit for a child's good educational performance?
I just want to appeal to parents that there must be close relationship, close cooperation between the parents and the teacher. You know, at times we used to call for parent-teacher association meeting, that is PTA. You know, some parents, they don't have time for their words in school, because by attending that parent-teacher meeting, association meeting, you will know the welfare of your child. Even the subject teacher, because we used to enforce all teachers to come, whether you live very far or not, because they must let the parents know the way, how their ward is performing in class. There are some questions that you may ask the parents concerning their children. So that's the reason why we normally hold parent-teacher association meeting. And even another thing is that, teacher, we should show love to students in class. At times, like even mathematics that you think is very difficult, if a student if the teacher show love to a student, the student will cultivate the habits of the love that the teacher showed to him, to have interest in the subject. If there's no love with the student will lose interest in whatever you are teaching. So I still want to admonish and appeal to teachers to continue to show love to those that they are teaching in class. And even they should get rid of derogatory remarks on the part of children that, sit down, can something come out from you? Stupid, all this kind of thing. Teachers should not use derogatory language, uncomplimentary language to the students. And with this, show love, do whatever that will attract, that will arouse the interest of the students to know more about the subjects the teacher is teaching. So, in a nutshell, as I said earlier, I don't want to put blame on parents, because we are praying that because we are not the owner of the child. It's God that owns the child. That God should give both parents and teacher wisdom and knowledge to be able to handle these children, so that at the end of their educational something, they will reach that pinnacle we are praying for them to reach. So, if I start blaming the parents, some parents, they do their work. Only few that they don't have time. Some parents now, some people stay abroad, they will just dump their, maybe 2 or 3 in school, because I teach in boarding school. They will just dump their children two or three students. And these children, is the role of the teacher to start giving them that good upbringing. And some parents will say, the reason why they ask them to come from US to this place is because they want them to have good upbringing. Because before you know it, they can shoot their teacher if their teacher misbehave or if their teacher scold them. I say, it means that we have a load. You just put the child on us, a load of work for us to do. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that parents, not all parents, many of them, they used to bring their children up in the way of God, and they used to teach their, as my mommy just said earlier, some people, they have their extra teachers for extra lesson, and that one is even helping the teachers in school, in classroom setting. So thank you.
Thank you very much. So all what you have just stated, so who do you think take the credits between the parents
and the teacher? You just want me to say, okay, you know, without parents and students, teacher, we won't get we won't hand our salary. It's because of students that we are earning salary. No students, no money. No student, no teacher. So I don't know.
Okay, thank you very much.
I don't know who to blame.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Mrs. Ezimeruwe, what's your final statement to the viewers? And who do you think should take the credits when the child is performing well in academics, between the parents and the teacher?
Okay, in my own opinion, both parties play a complementary role, but most of the burden is on the parents, because I take an example from one of my children. First time in school, and it was strange to him, and as he started school, the teachers saw him as a dullard. He doesn't talk in class, he doesn't understand what they are saying, and they just put him on the back seat. And over the terms, he was just going down, and the child lost interest in school. And when we noticed that he's not interested in school, we had to pull him out a little and get an extra lesson for him, a teacher that he loves. And believe me, within a short time, he came up and started topping his class. So most of the burden is on the parents. The parents have to understand the challenges the children are going through. The teacher, they have a lot of students, so they may not be able to pay attention to one particular child. It's now the duty of the parents to understand their children, know the challenges they are going through, and provide solutions to it. If it's to change the teacher or to get another subject, something to motivate the child to do better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you both for your contributions. It's good having you here in the studio to come and enlighten the viewers on this very topic.
Thank you.
Home is the first school for the child, and parents are the first teachers. With the help of their conduct and behavior, they induce an influence on their children and play a major role in inculcating values in their children. The second major role is of a teacher. The teacher plays a very important role in children's educational performance, and they are a source of information, a guide, a mentor, a surrogate parent, a motivator, builders, and personality developers. And teachers should understand that teaching is not a job, but an attitude. And at the same time, it is a noble profession which deals with the future generation. However, parent involvement may also enhance children's behavior at home and in the classroom, as parents and teachers work together to enhance social functioning and address problem behaviors that limit children's good educational performance. With this, the teacher and the parents are to be blamed for the poor performance of the children. Therefore, parents and teachers should give their best in the educational training of the child, because children are the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you, Mrs. Ogene-Karo and Mrs. Taiwo, for sparing out your time.
Thank you.
And thanks to our viewers for staying tuned with us. Until we come your way again next week with another exciting and interesting topic, Bye and God bless you.